Hi, I'm Rex from Valhalla Games podcast and YouTube channel. Come and have a look as I give you a bit of a workbench update, see what I got done over the Christmas break. I had 2 weeks off, plenty of time to get some miniatures painted, to get some terrain building done, even got some stuff 3D printed. Hopefully some of this will inspire you. Come and have a look with me now. So the first thing I want to show you is the Chateau. This is a 3D print, and this is something that I've been working on for a little while. Luckily I've actually got some, this is an actual chateau in France, and I have some photos to show for colouring and that sort of thing. So I'll show you these photos now. So you see that sort of a blue-grey kind of roofing, and quite a pale white kind of sandstone almost. Perhaps not sandstone, more of a creamy colour. So what I've done is I've done the roofs. So in this roof section here, I'm pretty happy with those. Pretty happy with the roofs. And I've done the castle turret. You may remember in the original review for these, which you can see on the screen now, the turrets were quite, I guess, square. And so what I did is I spent a fair amount of time sanding these with a heavy sandpaper, and then finally polishing it up to get them more or less rounded. So I'm pretty happy with how that came out. You saw in the photo that the window frames and jambs were actually green, not like a turquoise kind of a colour. Not sure whether that was the original one in the 1940s and World War II. So I have to try and look into that. But for now, I've just painted them white, which will be a good base coat for that anyway. And yeah, I'm quite happy with it. The only thing that I don't like about this model is these roofs here. Firstly, I don't like the kind of snakeskin pattern that I've got on them. They're supposed to be tiles, and I guess they sort of do look like tiles, but they don't look like these tiles. And the other thing I don't like is that it's flush with the edge here. Would have preferred to see like a slight overhang. So all I would need to do is actually get this reprinted at maybe 105%, something like that. So I may actually ask for that to get done. I'm sure it's not going to cost very much to get those reprinted in that size, and that'll just make the thing look a lot nicer. So that's it. That's the Chateau. That's as much as I've done with that. Looking forward to getting going on the main section now. But to do that, I need to clean up the 3D prints because they're looking a bit tatty. And to do that, I have got a new toy. Okay, so for my pre-cleanup process with the 3D prints that I've been getting quite a bit of lately, I've gone for something that I've only seen anybody mention once, and that's the Sandblasting gun. So this is a cheap $30 hardware store sandblasting gun, and the way that it works is you've got the sandblasting mediums, just a sand I guess, but apparently you need to use this because it's doesn't have all the bad stuff, silicates in it that sand has. Still need to use a mask, a respirator, and then the compressor hooks into the bottom of it, and pull the trigger and away you go. I've got these 3D prints which are pretty good, but if you have a good look, a real close look at the printing, you can see some striations, but you can see the furry fuzzy bits here, and those are a pain to try and get off with a knife. So what I've been doing is I've been sandblasting them, giving them a good sandblast, and then they've been coming out. They've been coming out like this. So that's a little better. So I'm still practicing with that, how much to do it without actually damaging the model, wearing away the model, and also there's a time thing too. But that plastic is really, really hard. So my sandblasting gun, I've been sort of hitting it on the angle so that it sort of takes off the texture. So I've actually done that, and I have mostly made a video. When that's live, I'll put a link to the video up here on the screen for you, and then you can go and have a look at my procedure with that. What I've actually done is I've made a sandblasting cabinet. Sounds very complex and super duper, but in reality all it is just a standard kind of a large bin box that you get at a hardware store for storing things in the garage, and I just cut a couple of holes in there to stick my arms in, and put a clear glass on top so I can poke my arms in with gloves on, and then do the sandblasting, and then when I'm finished, pull my arms out, take the lid off, and I can actually recover the stuff. So that's reasonably expensive. So that's mostly a sealed unit, and that's worked pretty well. Next thing I've done hobby-wise is I had a big box full of paint, and all my paint was sitting like so, and looking down on the box like you are there now, kind of get an idea of what paint it was, but it was a real pain. So I'd be constantly going like this through the box, trying to work out what was the correct paint that I was after, and which grey is that, and it was just driving me just insane. So what I did was, in a moment of madness, I made this. So this is a paint rack for Vallejo bottles, or the 17mm bottles, or just with a few GW stuff mostly. I don't have GW, but that's the GW stuff down the bottom for the ones that I do use, a few washers and bits and pieces. It took about half a day to do. I'm really pleased that I did, because it's really improved my productivity painting wise. But the only problem is now I probably really need a second one, or even a third one, and I'd love to make one that goes around the corner. So I don't know, once I start getting that complicated and detailed, may pay to actually buy something that's commercially available. The main reason that I built this from scratch is because this dimension here, the front to back dimension, needed to fit into my hobby cabinet, so I actually just slide the whole thing in there, and also I wanted the maximum possible height to fit in my hobby cabinet, but if it was any higher it wouldn't fit in as well. So yeah, I made that, pretty happy with that, and now my painting will be ultra organized, and I'll be so much faster. And next on the list of hobby achievements, I have these walls which I've finally finished after a year of sitting on my shelf. So what they are is they're a resin cast wall. Now, I have no idea where these came from. Dan, the other half of Valhalla Games, gave them to me, but they're really nice cast walls. Some side pieces there, and yeah, in general I'm pretty happy with how they went together. If anyone wants the paint guide, let me know. I might have given them a coat of clear coat, which as usual has really dulled them back a bit and reduced the contrast, so I might actually go over with a final light dry brush of the final colour, because they look a bit sort of muted to me from what I had originally designed. But yeah, got the green wash across the bottom, little strips of filthy water have been dripping down over the years. So yeah, pretty happy with those. So that's a good reasonable few walls there. I do actually have more, but that was enough. It took me a month to get through, just doing little bits and pieces here and there and everywhere. So yeah, that should be good for my new table. More on that to follow soon. Okay, next on the list of things that I have achieved, is this resin cast muddy road. Now, I've made a full detailed video on this, which I'll launch shortly, and the link to that will be on your screen once it's launched. But my main thing was I wanted to have some really nice muddy roads that were heavy, that didn't curl up at the edges, and that could interlock together to make sure that you don't have that crazy slide thing where they get out of whack, big black gap there. So I'm hoping that's going to work really well. I've yet to just make the little pieces to lock them together, but this one, apart from that, is completely finished. I even went so far as to add in some water texture in the grooves. This is for my Eastern European board that I'm working on now, and that allows me to have some really great roads to go in with the really great battle mat that I've got for that. A little bit of greenery there, and these rocks are actually were stuck to the original mold master, and then they have been cast, so these rocks are not stuck on. These rocks are actually part of the original mold. So yeah, not so great on the other side, but you can see there the casting colour. So I'm very happy with those. And as I say, a full video on your screen, link to that as soon as I have that one live. So that solves my road problem, and I'm really happy with how those turned out. Righto, it's time to bring out the big guns. So not so much a hobby project, more of something I have brought project. May not even fit in the frame, it's so big. I purchased this from OTP Terrain, and mighty expensive it was too. This is the Scriptorium, and it goes with some of the other 3D printed stuff that I have that I've got in this video review here on the screen now. And yeah, this one I just kind of had to buy it to fill the set. The link will be on your screen now. But warning, it'll make your eyes water, the price of it, that's for sure. Okay, slightly better view there. Excuse the mess in the background, various messes there that are going on. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. Not only is it incredibly detailed on the outside, but also incredibly detailed on the inside, and incredibly detailed on the lower floor as well. So I'm not entirely sure that I have this put together yet. I've just kind of got it out of the box and put it together, and that was sort of all I've managed to do. Yeah, it's a magnificent piece of kit for sure. Look at these windows. So a little bit of stringing and fairies there. I'll do my usual thing, which I mentioned before about the sandblaster after I trim these away with a knife. But yeah, that's a really nice unit. Also comes with this bag of things. The reason that I don't think I might have it put together properly yet is I have this extra balcony, and on the back of it, I have these buttress things that are attached to this and go nowhere. So I'll work it out. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's just me or if anybody has this problem. But putting these things together sometimes tries my intelligence. So yeah, probably just me. But anyway, that's a very nice and very big unit. The other thing these could be is just 3D supports. I'll have to have a look. I haven't actually been able to find a back view of this, but it's possible they're just 3D supports for the printing process. So if they are, problem solved, snap those off and away we go. But yes, very impressive, huge amount of money, but something that you'll play with for a lifetime for those crazy fantasy players like myself. Something else that is on my hobby desk is a pack of MDF printed terrain pieces by Battlefield Accessories. Now, Battlefield Accessories is a MDF building and road and accessory manufacturer based in Australia, and they have always done the standard MDF that we all know and love, but these ones have really moved to the next level. Now, I haven't opened this yet, and I will do a full review on this with building and construction and my thoughts and the pluses and minuses of the system. But this is the first time I've ever seen MDF printed at such a high quality. Now, I haven't opened this pack yet, as I say, but I'll give you a bit of a view here. This is the quality of the product. So I asked them they asked me what I'd like to see. So I sort of gave them a few different things that I'd like to see. So there's some standard MDF stuff in there, and but then there's this amazingly printed MDF. So crack it out of the MDF sprue, as it were, put it on the table, and you're ready to play. And I have a couple of thoughts about how I can even improve these even more. But that is really, really nice. I'm excited to review that. So thanks guys from Battlefield Accessories. I will put the link up on the screen now to the future video. It won't be live until I've actually done this review and had a real good look at it, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. So yeah, quite amazing. Something new that I've never ever seen before, and so I'm very, very interested and excited to check it out. Okay, so for the next thing I wanted to show you, I do feel a bit bad. I do feel like I'm a traitor to my kind. Yep, there you have it. Valhalla Games is gone 21st century, and built our first 3D printer. Now, I've only had it for about a week and a half. I've been churning out stuff. I don't know whether I just got lucky, but it was incredibly easy to get up and going. I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very happy with the quality, and all in all, I'm just happy. I've been through one spool of filament already in a week. Only $25 worth, but that's a lot of printing. So yeah, very happy. The other thing I just wanted to show you is this absolutely fantastic Rode microphone stand, which is great for recording podcasts, but also I can put my camera on here and I can shoot video with it. Now, it's a really good quality unit, way, way above your budget $15 thing from eBay, which is what I've been using. But particularly, the thing I really like about it is that once you get it lined up, you actually move the camera up and down without it changing position. So, yeah, I looked at a few other options, but this one, because of that, just because of the way that it works with the with this piece here, there's a special name for it, and if you're wanting to research it on it, it's in Wikipedia. But this special weirdo thing allows you to move your camera forward and back while keeping it in the same plane. Now, a particular reason that I wanted to show you this is not because I wanted you to see, hey, Rex has bought something and, I feel good, I feel cool. I just wanted to let you know that our patrons put towards the money to buy this. So thanks very much, patrons. If you want to be a patron, have a look at the links down in the notes underneath. Yeah, just wanted to let you guys know that we've got better quality videos than we had before, just simply because you have given us a couple of bucks a week, and we really, really appreciate it. Now that I've come clean and told you about my dirty secret of buying a 3D printer, I've been building these foam buildings. These ones are for Dan, actually. Sorry, Dan, still not finished. But the way that they go together is just completely scratch built. So foam, obviously. This is a styrene sheet that you can buy from hobby shops. And the windows are individually made out of balsa wood. A little bit of a texture there that I've put on the ground. And if you want to see these buildings in their completed state, click on the link that you're seeing in the video now, and that'll take you to one of our battle reports for a finished one of this set. But they're very labour intensive, and the thing that I worry about is that they're so easily crushed. I actually have one here somewhere that's actually got a big ding out of the top that I have repaired, and it'll be fine. But apparently now I'm a traitor to my kind. I've got the 3D printer, and this is one of mainly the only thing that I've 3D printed since I've had it. It's a church, and these guys, the church is made by Printable Scenery. Link in the descriptions below. I purchased it. It was about $29 US for the kit. That's on special, normally about 50. And what that is this church that you can see, another complete church, which is a ruined church, and church walls and gates. So this print I'm very, very impressed with. It took about a week to print out. Now what I did is I printed the main church itself. I haven't sort of glued it together yet. I have to work out which parts I can glue while still allowing for other pieces to come apart. But you can see the detail. I'm fairly impressed with my $305 3D printer. You'll agree that that's pretty reasonable detail on there. In front of it, this other piece of the church, there's a little picture of the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus, and yeah, very impressive. So I need to work out which parts I can glue together and still get the thing apart. Obviously for playing bolt action, etc. Chain of command, 28mm war games, and even some fantasy probably look okay. I need to be able to get these open to get your miniatures inside. But the really cool thing is that the broken pieces actually just fit straight back over, so they're made to be designed to be interchangeable. So that's took about a week to print, as I say. Part of that was because I needed to print 2 lots. This piece here is actually a broken piece, and I think the bottom piece here as well. But just for the sake of not printing, more than what I needed, I think that's probably fine as it is. And I was planning to not reprint these. You'll notice that these base pieces are not textured at all, and they're just plain, which is a shame. Pity they don't have like a cobblestone type effect on them. But when I actually looked into it a little bit more, I found that the ruined ones, which I think the ruined ones are mostly complete anyway. There might have a few dings out of them, but they're mostly complete, actually do have cobblestones in there. Little piles of rubble where the where the walls fallen in. So I think I'll end up printing those as well. So very, very impressed with that. And as I say, the 3D print, my 3D printer for $305 Australian. Very happy with that. I just can't really fault it. So incredibly happy with the 3D printing. As well as that, I'm not just going to be that guy. I've got some other bits and pieces. Got some other bits and pieces that I've 3D printed. Things like this fence a bit of stringing on the bottom because there's no supports. Fence is very nice. And then we've got some church fences, walls, and the gate that comes with that unit. So they'll go around there in the same sort of style. Little Kings of War 90-degree flank indicator thing. It needs to be resized. It's a little bit better, and it's pretty hard to pick up off the table with that size. But yeah, for 10-15 cents worth of plastic, very, very impressive. Sorry, Mantic Games, I'm not going to buy you a $35 set of tokens just to get this. As well as that, for Kings of War, generally you put your units on a movement tray. So this is a MDF movement tray, which I'll be printing some 3D ones of those as well, some plastic ones. And in here I have a steel impregnated sheet that I just cut up to the right size and then glue in there. And then what that allows me to do is magnetize the bottom of these cavalry units or whatever units you want, and then that just clicks in there, and then you have all your guys lined up in there. And what I was doing before is, because these cavalry aren't genuine Mantic Games cavalry and they don't come necessarily on this base size, they come like this, you can see on the screen here now. So it's like basically a plastic stub that you use to glue to whatever base that you want to glue it to. And I found that a real pain. So I had some 50 by 25 plastic bases, Ronaldra I think they were, and I glued that on there, but then you ended up with this weird situation where, it was thin at the edge and then it went up quite sharply to that piece and then down again. I just didn't like it, so what I did is I cast these in resin. So I manufactured them, made a mold, cast them in resin, and I even made a mold. My mold even accommodated the two magnets in the bottom here, and I was casting those, and it was working okay, but it was a real pain. So now that I've got a 3D printer, I've been able to 3D print this. I made this up in Tinkercad. I was able to 3D print that, and then it's just more or less the same as there. So I managed to get the magnet sizes exactly perfectly right. So my magnets that I have a stockpile of just clip straight in there, make sure you get the polarity right. And then the base of the actual cavalry will actually sit down in there, and this lip here will accommodate the base, so you end up with a nice flat thing, pretty much like that. So I printed out a whole stack of these, and yeah, so that's my Kings of War stuff sorted. Even more important when you're trying to put a non-Mantic Games infantry guy onto an infantry base. There's one other advantage to magnetizing the bottom of your guys here. It doesn't work so well with cavalry, but I have these dowels that I've drilled out and put some more rare earth magnets on, which is why you have to get your polarity right, because you can put your guy on there, and yeah, I've actually picked the one that has the polarity wrong. I think that's why it's sitting there, because I need to either throw it away or try and replace that. But yeah, the idea is you put it on there, and then you can get in there with your paintbrush and paint it up. So I've taken that one step further now. So I came up with this idea. I haven't seen anybody else do it exactly like that, mainly because not everybody else would be so insane as to use the method that I have for attaching the magnets. But I found an improvement for this. I used to put them all in my shot glass holder and then pick them off and paint them. But what I've managed to do now is do something that an idea that I got from Viv, and he put a magnet in the bottom, and then what he was able to do is just get a piece of steel plate. I've got it's a massive thing, but then just put that on there, and then it stays upright and you can grab it off the paint. So once I've got them all drilled out, as I say, this one's been put aside because the polarity is wrong, but once I've all got them all pulled out, I've got some slightly larger magnets for the bottom here, so that gets recessed into there, and then that just sits down on there and grips with the magnet with that on top, and just grab it, paint the eyes on this guy, grab the next guy, paint the eyes on the next guy, grab the next guy, and move onto there, and it's very, very quick, and just makes my painting process a lot quicker and a lot better. So yep, that's my current painting method. Next thing on the list, my little box of shame. So this is the box that I keep all the tanks and vehicles that I'm meant to be working on right now, and for some reason I just never seem to open the box. But this time around, over the Christmas break, I did actually manage to get something done. So you may have seen this tank before on the blog. I'm pretty happy with this. This is about the only tank that I've actually got finished to a state that I'm happy with. So fully weathered, right down to filthy tracks, and yep, really happy with that. But even then, this tank was not complete because it didn't have the Shitsin glued on. But now I've finally managed to get it complete. So Dan will be happy with me because he's been moaning about this for 2 years. I am kind of a good starter, but not so good a finisher. So that one's done, complete, ready to play with. And then I thought, well, that looks so good, I'll move on to these ones and get them done. So I've got, you can see the decals on there, and the tracks are done. So just needs a satin coat now, and then it's ready for weathering. So I'm happy to have those moved along a little bit more. Even painted up the tank commander. So yeah, decals on, ready for final clear coat, and then weathering. I repainted my Pack 40. Never was happy with the colour of it, so weathering is required on that now. And I even got some paint on the T34, which has been outstanding for a little while. Decals are on. That's looking good. Just need weathering on that one, so not far away. And I'll have another completed tank there. My Panther, I love this tank. Again, decals on, some detailing done, ready for final clear coat, and then painting. So my box of shame is still the box of shame. Let's just close the lid on that. Nothing completed in there. Nothing to see. Next thing I worked on over the break was pushed along a little bit further with my Northern Alliance Army for Kings of War. So I've got these guys done, which again you'll see why now I magnetise my bases. So a little magnet in the bottom there, and then they just go on there. Nothing to say they aren't going to fall off, but they're certainly not going to move around in the course of normal transport. So I've got along a little bit further with these guys. They're nearly done. Particularly enjoyed painting the bone. Bone colour was very nice. As I say, nearly done. So that was those. Next thing I just wanted to show you is, I don't think I've actually shown these on video before. Subscribers to the blog, that's valhallagames.net, they would have seen them come up, but in a state of still not completed. But I'm extremely happy with these winter German guys. This is the best painting that I have ever done. proof that if I can do it, anybody can do it. Bit of a close up here. The lighting's probably not the best. Yeah, complete with winter bases. And if you're looking for a paint guide on those, just to work out what paint colours I used, that's up on valhallagames.net/downloads. Now sometimes it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So I just want to show you this. I played a game, went to an event the end of last year, and pulled out my Soviet army, and I was very excited about taking them along. And these here, if I can show you the tricky way, these here are based up in an urban base scene. That's a 3D printed gun. And this one here as well. Very happy with those. I think they look very nice. But you may have already spotted it. Not so much on that one, but on this one, it's gone banana. So what was a flat Ronaldra base with a piece of textured stuff stuck to it is now flappy. And the same with this one as well. It's not so bad, but geez, that's annoying. Not quite sure what to do about that. If I hadn't magnetized them, I probably could have just sanded the bottom flat, but because I magnetized them, seemed like a good idea at the time, I'm kind of stuck there. So yeah, in some ways they're very bent. So I'm not sure, presumably it's the surface tension between the two different plastics. I really glued them down but good. Maybe that was my problem. If I hadn't glued them down so well, just put a couple of dots on there, would have been better. But anyway, 1 step forward, 1 step back on those ones at least. So not sure whether I'm just going to say, too bad, that's it. Put a small cut across there, or what. So if you've got any suggestions for me, if you've ever seen that before, put them down in the comments below, because I'm really annoyed about it and not quite sure what to do. Righto, that's the hobby roundup. That's what I've managed to achieve over the Christmas holiday break. In Australia, we get a really good long Christmas holiday break. Because it's middle of summer for us, so everybody's going to the beach and doing all those things, except me. I'm painting and modelling. So I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed getting a lot done, a good bulk of stuff. Don't know how much I got completed. I'm not really the completist type. I'm more the starting type, unfortunately. But I certainly enjoyed it, and I hope that inspires you to get on and do some hobby stuff on your own, especially if you're in coronavirus times and you're kind of at a bit of a loss for something to do. Plenty of painting to do. If you get sick of painting, do some terrain. If you get sick of terrain, do some more painting. If you get sick of all of that, buy a 3D printer. No, maybe don't do that, but because you'll be addicted like I am now. But certainly it's been a great period of time, a month or so. I had 3 full weeks off work, and really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys. As always, check out the blog at valhallagames.net. You can, if you want to support us, you can support us on valhallagames.net/patron or /Patreon, same thing. And we really appreciate it. We appreciate our couple of patrons that we've got now. Thanks, guys. And I'll be back soon with some completion videos of all the stuff that I've got going on and a couple of other surprises. Don't forget to join us on the podcast. I've got interviews coming up. As of now, it's the 30th of January. Hopefully next week I'm going to be interviewing an author of a book on making terrain and a 3D printing manufacturer guy. So look forward to catching up with you on the podcast, and thanks for watching. Bye now.